Firstly, it enables the Attorney General to create a 2S LGBTQI+ community safety zone to prohibit within 100 meters of the property any homophobic, transphobic act of intimidation, threat, offensive threats, offensive remarks, protest, disturbance, and distribution of hate propaganda within the meaning of the criminal code. It also comes with it a penalty of $25,000 if prosecuted successfully.
Telegram has been described as the app of choice for extremists. And Mr. Speaker, if you can believe it, if the House can believe it, as we were paying tribute to Sir David on Monday, Telegram users could access videos of murders and violent threats against politicians, the LGBT community, women and Jews, as we were paying our respects. Some of these posts are illegal, all of them are harmful, and Hope Not Hate and the Board of Deputies have said that Telegram has, in their words, facilitated and nurtured a subculture that cheerleads for terrorists. Tough sanctions are clearly needed.
Montana has become the first state to pass legislation banning TikTok statewide. Lawmakers in the state's GOP-led House passed the bill Friday in a 54-43 vote. It now goes to Governor Greg Giannafortes for approval. If the bill becomes law, the Chinese-owned app would be prohibited from operating in that state and no longer be offered on the app stores. Montana has already banned TikTok, like many other states, on government devices. In a statement to CBS News, a TikTok spokesperson said, quote, "We will continue to fight for TikTok users and creators in Montana whose livelihoods and First Amendment rights are threatened by this egregious government overreach."
I'm the father of 2 young women, so there's a part of me that would be absolutely delighted to see TikTok banned. It is a scarily addictive app with 150 million US users, including 2 out of 3 teenagers. But the more carefully I think about it, the more I worry. And when I look at the legislation being proposed that would enable the government to ban TikTok, I see a frightening Orwellian law that should send chills down every American's spine. The argument for banning TikTok is straightforward. It's owned by a Chinese company and could be forced to obey the diktats of the Chinese government. That is an appropriate concern, even though there is no evidence that this has ever happened. The second fear about TikTok is that it would transmit anti-American information through its platform, becoming a subtle vehicle for Chinese propaganda. So how would we feel if we learned that a Chinese media company has started a cable news channel that broadcasts sometimes anti-American messages? That is already legal. The United States hasn't banned China's CCTV, or for that matter, Qatar's Al Jazeera, both government-owned media platforms. If we ban TikTok, will we also ban Chinese media companies from distributing pamphlets or books in the United States? Will we ban all Chinese video game companies, which are giants in the industry? The premise of an open society is that people should be free to consume what information they want, and that we are stronger for it. A bipartisan group of senators has put forward legislation that would make it easy to ban any company in which any foreign adversary, such as China, has any interest, which would cover almost any company that has any operations in China or several other countries. This law would give virtually unlimited powers to the administration to prevent or punish any company that has tech or information products or services that, in the administration's view, pose an undue or unacceptable risk to the national security of the U.S. or the safety of U.S. persons. If men were angels, James Madison wrote in the Federalist Papers, no government would be necessary. It does not take a particularly skeptical view of government to be terrified by the idea of giving it that much power. We're living in times when state governments are already banning books by the hundreds, when speech is considered a weapon, and when politicians openly talk about shutting down dangerous ideas. But look at where we are today. We've embarked on central economic planning with massive subsidies to industry, and now we're proposing draconian restrictions on the free flow of information. It seems that we are becoming more like the Chinese every day.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him.
The former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States.
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by, if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
Our country, the United States of America, shall repudiate every principle of its Constitution as a Protestant and Republican government, and shall make provision for the propagation of papal falsehoods and delusions. Then we may know that the time has come for the marvelous working of Satan, and that the end is near.
This gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.